Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, TRAWS Pharma Incorporated just filed a Form 8K, and I am seeing a major development that could impact their experimental drug. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company announced a significant delay for a key human trial, and this regulatory setback could be a big deal for their future. This is a current report, meaning TRAWS Pharma Incorporated is disclosing some important up-to-the-minute news. The big news dropped on the 12th of June, 2026. The company in question is TRAWS Pharma Incorporated, a biotechnology firm. Looking at the research context, they are a small company with a market cap around $19 million, and they just have a handful of employees. Their stock has been trading in the $1 to $3 range over the past year. The main reason for this filing is to talk about their drug called Tivoxavir Marboxil. On the 12th of June, TRAWS Pharma put out a press release, and that press release announced that a planned test, specifically a phase 2 study for an influenza drug called Tivoxavir Marboxil, has been put on hold or deferred. This is a crucial step for any drug where they test it in people to see if it works and is safe. The reason for this delay is a negative review from the UK's regulatory agency, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. This is not good news for the drug's development. Think of it like trying to get a new recipe approved by a food critic and they say it's not ready yet. Now, it is important to note how this information is being presented. The company is saying this information is being furnished, not officially filed in the same way as, say, their annual financial reports. This means it carries a bit less legal weight in some contexts, but for us it is still vital information about the company's progress. As is common with these reports, they include a section on forward-looking statements. This just means they are talking about plans and expectations for the future. But these things come with risks and uncertainties. They are basically saying that what they hope will happen might not actually happen. For example, they are hoping their drug will eventually be approved, but there are many hurdles to clear. This section generally details any financial statements or exhibits attached to the report. The most important exhibit here is Exhibit 99.1, which is the actual press release they issued on the 12th of June. This is where all the details about the drug trial delay are laid out. And finally, we see the signatures. This is the official sign off by authorized personnel of TRAWS Pharma Incorporated. Charles Parker, the Chief Financial Officer, signed off on this report, indicating the financial department is aware and endorsing this information. Looking at this filing, the core message is loud and clear. A setback for their experimental influenza drug, Tivoxavir Marboxil. The UK's regulatory agency gave it a thumbs down for now, causing a major delay in human testing. For a small biotech company like TRAWS Pharma, where their drugs are their main assets, this kind of news can have a significant impact. It means more time and money will be needed to potentially get this drug to market if it ever does. Historically, when smaller biotech companies face setbacks with their lead drug candidates, especially at the human trial stage, it can be a tough road. We have seen companies like, for example, T.R.A.W.S. face numerous regulatory hurdles and delays with their drug pipeline, and it has put immense pressure on their stock. While TRAWS Pharma is not Sorrento, the principle is the same when a vital development program is stalled by regulators. Investors often react negatively because it pushes back potential revenue streams and increases the overall risk profile of the investment. A delay like this can mean millions in additional costs and potentially a shift in investor confidence. The research context shows TRAWS Pharma is a very small company with limited resources. A significant delay like this likely means they will need to evaluate their entire development strategy and potentially seek additional funding to overcome this regulatory obstacle. The fact that the UK's agency reviewed it negatively suggests there are some fundamental questions about the drug's efficacy or safety that need to be addressed before further human trials can proceed. For investors, this is a clear signal to pay close attention. The company's most recent news headlines also align perfectly with this filing, with multiple sources reporting on the regulatory setback and the deferral of the human trial. This isn't a surprise announcement, the market is already aware of the issue. But this filing confirms the official details and the company's response. The risk I am watching is how this single setback affects the company's ability to secure future funding and whether they can pivot their strategy effectively. My biggest concern is the impact on investor sentiment for such a small company, where one failed or delayed drug candidate can be devastating. What I'm actually looking for is any further elaboration from TRAWS Pharma on how they plan to address the UK agency's concerns. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going, that is my take. Stay decoded if you found this breakdown helpful. Please like, subscribe, and join our Discord community linked in the description.